thing that really popped in my head was, hopefully it could cut down on all the opioid use, for one, and, just overall helping people.
A large hemp processing plant is coming to North Knoxville. Bluhen Botanicals plans to process those plants on an industrial scale. Now, that processing center plans to open later this year on North Central Street in the old Habitat for Humanity building. Reporter Stephanie Haynes joins us with more on the project and reaction from neighbors tonight. Stephanie?
John, remember Dollar General tried to build a new store there last year and the neighborhood wasn't very happy about it. But a new developer bought the property, not only saving the building, but also promising to bring in new jobs, help the agriculture industry, and provide relief to some people in pain. Chris Lovell's first thought when he learned a hemp processing facility was coming to his neighborhood wasn't outrage or frustration. It was hope.
Hopefully it could cut down on all the opioid use.
One of the main reasons to grow hemp is to extract CBD oil. That has been used to treat pain, anxiety, and seizures. Remember, hemp is not the same as marijuana. It does come from the same plant family, but it only has trace amounts of THC, so it won't get you high. This is the kind of stuff owner and developer Joe Fox has to teach when he's talking about his facility called Bluhen Botanicals.
Right now our biggest goal is really to educate.
Fox and his team are working with at least a dozen Tennessee farmers to grow the plant, which will be processed into CBD products and other applications and sold. The group says it's the largest processor in the state and maybe even the region.
This is a viable crop. Not only the health and wellness benefits, but it's also a crop that is financially sound for farmers.
According to the State Department of Agriculture, the number of industrial hemp growers has tripled in the past year. Bluhen Botanicals hopes to hire about 24 people, open a storefront, conduct research, and give tours. And that makes some neighbors like Lovell excited for the future of the North Central Corridor.
Just everything going on, I just think it fits.
Fox says construction should start in the next 2 weeks. They hope to start processing by the end of this year and aim to open the storefront portion late next spring. John?
Stephanie Haynes on the story. Thank you.